can start.
Good morning.
Hi.
We are coming to you from the Cashmere Goat in early September. And it's been, I think, 3 weeks since we did a podcast.
Time just flew by.
It does. Well, especially for us at this time of the year. The store is incredibly busy in August and September. But we wanted to make some time to connect with all of you, show you what we're up to.
Catch you up on all the happenings.
Yes, yep. So, first we're going to start with
what we're wearing. So I am wearing, this is called the Bisect, and it's a top-down pullover that is in this issue of the Noro magazine. It features the Akari yarn and Akari Solo. So this is Akari.
We have some behind us too.
And this is Solo. So Solo is like, you know, one of those semi-solids, a little bit color changey. I'll just hold these up together. So here's the funny story about the top that I'm wearing, which is super sweet and has these really nice, I'm just gonna come over, like nice like side details, arm details.
And around the back
along
too.
the back too. I don't know, I'll
Yeah,
crouch
there you
down
go.
a little bit. Okay. And the funny story about this is, you know, we get samples from yarn companies, which is great because they send them to us and then those samples help us sell yarn in the
Yes,
shop.
Yep.
But honestly, sometimes the samples come and we're kind of like, oh,
It's a little like
oh, okay, they chose this colorway. Sure.
That's an interesting item.
But you know, it happens.
Yeah.
But we pulled this one out of the box and everybody was like, oh my gosh. And within moments, it seemed like people in the shop were like, we want this yarn, we want this aqua. And turns out, funnily enough, this is not an available color yet because it won't be dyed until the spring or into the winter. So it'll be available in spring. So that was a little disappointing. And Kristen talked to our yarn rep, who is great and is sending us a new sample. But we love this design. It's just really simple, these ridges of garter. And with the two colors, it's so neat because then you're seeing that gradient of color framed with the textured stitches.
I love it when a gradient is framed. I feel like it tones it down and makes it a little more subtle.
Yeah.
Not for my personal taste. That's what I love. This sweater I want to point out, and it's in the magazine like this. You can also make it with the semi-solid one. There's a picture of it in the magazine, and that is probably the choice I would make. Although I love this, and it is so fun. People see it, but we're getting another one.
And so the Akari, the yarn base, it has a little bit of
silk and cotton,
maybe a little mohair.
Yeah, and a little wool.
So it's soft.
It's really soft. That's one of the things people pick it up and go,
oh,
this is so soft.
And worsted weight, so it doesn't take too long. So that's my story of what I'm wearing. And what are you wearing?
I am wearing, this is a Hohi Locatelli pattern called the Hipster Light. I've worn this on here probably a million times before. And it's September, so I pulled it out again. And we'll see how long I actually wear it today. It's made out of plush single. It's a one skein wonder. It's a pretty simple one. So I like that because it was quick to make, fun to make, nice yarn, and I picked a color that matches everything.
What, do you remember the colorway? Is it one she makes
It's
anymore?
not one available. I want to say Barred Owl, maybe?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. That was last year.
Wow.
So who knows?
Yeah.
Last year was so long ago. So we have, oh, did you show the sample colors?
I showed these, I think, at the beginning.
Okay.
And there's also purple. Maybe I didn't hold up the purple.
So the purple one is the sample that we're getting, I believe. So maybe next time Iris will be wearing that one.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Could be fun.
So we were gonna talk about what the happenings and what's going on, and we just this weekend kicked off our Schoodic Bay Knit Along.
We have almost 140 people signed up.
That's crazy.
A lot of them actually first time knit alongers with us. So if you're watching this, welcome new knit alongers. We're happy to have you.
We've gotten some new fans lately, and yes, welcome. Thanks for joining us. We love to hear from you and see you and hear about what you're doing. I had somebody message yesterday she watched the Fiberside Crawl, and she did 2 orders this week and sent me an email saying how happy she was to have found us. So it's so great to connect with people all around the country. She's far away. And this summer we've had so many people actually come see us.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to be able to connect that way with people.
We had a really fun time on the sunset sale, which got rescheduled a couple times. I made a mistake in an email, which you probably saw. But we finally got on the Schooner Olad for our sunset sale, and it was foggy, so the sunset was happening. We weren't really seeing it, but it just drives home the fact that if you get on a schooner with your knitting and a bunch of knitting pals, and also needlepoint, right?
Yeah, there was some needlepoint.
And that it's going to be awesome, and it really was. It was beautiful. It was relaxing. We kind of floated along very gently.
It was more of a float than a sail, but it really didn't seem to matter. It was a beautiful night, and it wasn't too cold. It was cool, which was nice. There was no wind, but the sights were still beautiful. The company was amazing, and we've had people that have come several times now, and so people brought snacks to share, and everybody was just in a wonderful mood.
And we had that sweet couple, Robin and I can't remember her husband, but they wanted to do the sunset sail last year, but weren't able. They're from Pennsylvania, I think.
Hi, Robin.
Hello. And so they weren't able to come last year because of illness, and then this year it wasn't going to line up well because it kept getting postponed. It actually ended up lining up with their trip here with the third time's a charm date that we had, and so they were able to be on the sail with us on their very last night in Maine. It was really, really nice. So that worked out.
It did. It worked, and you just never know. Weather is weather.
Oh, and back to the knit along, we had Alice Dunn Smith of Birch Tree Knits, who is the designer of the Schoodic Bay, and she was here in the shop for the kickoff, which was so exciting.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was so fun. It was so fun because people were like, "Can you look at my gauge swatch?" You know, and how often do you get the chance to show the designer of a pattern your gauge swatch? She actually helped one of our knitters who had to knit back, actually tear out some rows because she had gotten too chatty maybe during the time in the shop. So it was great. Yeah, and Alice has taught beginner knitting and other knitting classes, so she is quite familiar with helping people and comfortable. And she's joining us for our Zoom kickoff tomorrow, which will be super exciting too. Because tomorrow's Wednesday. It's actually Wednesday. Which is, because Labor Day was yesterday, so we're all who knows what day it is. So, and I can show you how I did not follow my own advice, which was to cast on pre kickoff, you know, so that you're not casting on in the store, but I have been busy. So but this one is West Yorkshire Spinners Fleece, BFL fleece yarn, and I am just cruising along on it. This is a fun knit. I realize that I really like having things change, and this sweater is like that, so I find myself, I just started it and I'm just like, oh, I want to knit more. Somebody at the kickoff on Sunday said, it's kind of like, ooh, you know, if I just knit a couple more rows, I'll be at the I'll be at the next section. And so you're kind of like motivated because there's always something next. Yeah, it's kind of like when you're making socks and they have an automatic pattern and you're like, I'll just get to the next stripe. I'll just get to the next color. So, and I love this yarn. I love it. Its color is Fellside, and I hemmed and hawed, and I'm so glad I chose this color because I think it's gonna see a lot of use. It's so pretty, and her swatch that's blocked is just stunning. We have it here in the shop, and it just has this gorgeous halo from the wool, and it's a woolly wool, but I don't consider it scratch. I mean, for my taste, it's not
really
scratchy,
but it's definitely woolly.
Mm-hmm.
And I did want, I definitely wanted something with a little more structure. Some people are choosing more drapey yarns, but I felt like I wanted something with a little more structure. So that was one of my big factors in choosing this one. But it's an enjoyable knit, and it is not too late to join the knit along.
We'll put the stuff in below the links.
And it's fine. I mean, it's a short knit along. I don't know if people will actually finish. Everybody will finish on time.
A lot of people are blazing ahead,
but a lot of people are, and you know, we don't punish those who don't finish on time.
Yeah.
Because I usually am one of those people. We will see, though. We will see. I mean, who knows how far I might get on this.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I have a few other things to show, that finished objects. So, other than the sewing in of the ends, which I've started but not finished.
We call them arm tassels.
I tucked
those
them in.
little ends.
So this is a brand new sweater that has been released from Courtney Flynn of Flynn Knit, and it is called New Horizon Sweater. And it's made out of Zodiac. It's beautiful, it's soft, it is way too hot to wear. But we know that will change soon. So it's nice to know I have a brand new sweater for when the weather changes.
And talk about Wonder Woman, please.
Oh, and someone pointed out that it was vaguely Wonder Woman, and the colors and the look of the sweater, and now I can't unsee it. So,
but it's great because you get to be like rocking the
it's my little subtle
the power
Wonder Woman.
move, Wonder Woman.
I'm really attracted to this color here, which is called Sea Glass, and I don't know why. I feel like it's not something I ever wear, but I keep it like it's sort of like the blue on this, and I love it. But it's a very bright tropical sort of color for me. But I don't know. It just
looks so good grounded amidst these other
it really works like
colors as the pop color. It's
a vibrant, fun color. So that is the New Horizon sweater. And then I have this one, which some of you who have been following me since the beginning will probably notice. No, rather, it is the throwback cardigan from Andrea Mowry. And I have made this out of Kathmandu Aran, and I made it 3 years ago, but I never finished the button band or the band. I didn't like it. I kept trying different things, and I was really frustrated with it. And I decided to put a zipper in it, and then found no time to put the zipper in it. So we have a customer here who I have known for years and years and years, and she's an amazing knitter and crocheter, and she kind of knows her stuff very well. And so I was like, hey Sue, do you want to do this for me? And she did a beautiful job, and so I feel like I have a brand new sweater.
It's so hard to put a zipper in knitwear, so it really speaks to her incredible artistry that she could do that so well.
And the shape was kind of funny, if I'm honest, when I was done, and that was one of the things that made me struggle. But she blocked it.
What was like
the submission.
What was the shape? What was
like
funny?
It was just like the edge, because it's knitwear, it's color work knit flat. Which is not my favorite. And it was kind of, the edges were very misshapen.
Oh, okay.
And so like you can see up at the top, she actually had to fold down some areas. But she blocked it into submission. She really did, and made it a thing of beauty.
Can I show inside just a little closer?
Yep.
Like look how great that is. That is some serious advanced level.
So I've had this sweater for a while, and occasionally I wear it, but it would drive me crazy because it's a cardigan knit in the round that's pretty heavy and thick, and because it's knit in the round, there's not a lot of structure in it. It would just fall off my shoulders, and it drove me crazy. But it has been redeemed, and it's beautiful, and I love it. So I feel like I have 2 new sweaters.
Totally great for fall.
Yes, so
I have a finished project too, and this is going to be really funny because they're a funny shape, but I have a new pair of socks, and this is with my like anatomical toes, but look how funny they are because they're so skinny. We were saying that they look sort of like weird little skinny Victorian feet or something.
I was saying they look
you
like
were saying
witchy.
That. Witchy toes.
They look like witchy feet.
So they're my witchy feet socks, and this is the Andrea Mowry DRK Everyday Sock. So I'd never tried a Flegel heel before, and that is how it looks on the back, and I really like it a lot. And what I really like about this pattern is it is toe up, and with the exception of the weird, you know, Turkish cast on business, and then, you know, so as soon as you've cast on and increased enough, you can get this on one of those shorty needles, the 9-inch needles, and you can knit the entire rest of the sock, even the heel turn, on those needles. So there's no changing in the middle, which I really found convenient. So I just decided to make them short as I was learning the heel, and also I like a short sock every now and then, and I kind of like the way that the ribbing hugs my foot. It feels really nice to me. So,
and we should have brought our sock model over here because they look radically different when they're on. They do look a little weird, but they're really pretty once they're, it's because the ribbing pulls them in and makes them just look funny.
But it hugs your foot in such a nice way. And this is Emerald City by On the Round in Nimble sock. And then this pink was something crazy that I had, maybe Monos or something.
Crazy pink you had
Crazy
somewhere?
pink.
Shocking.
Imagine that in the
Shocking. Do you have anything else to show?
I don't have any other finished objects, but I do have it in process right now. So I, some of you may know that I've been teaching a brioche for beginners class, and I've had 2 sessions already where we knit a brioche 2-color hat as our project, and then I'm going to be teaching another session in October, so that's super fun. And then as soon as my briocher beginners finished the class, some of them were like, and what's the next class that you're teaching? We want the Beyond Beginners class. And so I've been kind of shopping around for the right next project. I tried one. It didn't really turn out in terms of,
it wasn't good.
And I'm looking for something that was really pretty specific. I don't want it to be too crazy overwhelming. I want like one step beyond. You've got your hat, you've done your brioche left leaning increase and decrease, and then I want you to learn the right leaning decrease, and I want you to learn an increase. So right now I am, it's the Pianta bandana cowl, and it's by Lavanya Patricella, who's a very well-known brioche designer. And you have these columns of garter where you're alternating colors, and then you have these columns where you can see there's some interesting brioche stitching happening. So I find it a really intuitive pattern. I think this might be the winner. Haven't gotten into the pointy part of the cowl yet.
And it'll look really different when it's blocked.
When it's blocked, for sure. And it's, I'm using Glow On the Round plush single. That's the bright. And then it's pink tourmaline is the pink, and I'm holding it with the Malabrigo mohair, and it's the English rose color. So I'm enjoying it.
A few brights.
A few brights. And I think it's fun trying to come up with a pattern that's a good pattern for teaching.
Yeah.
So I think this may be a good
It's a challenge. It makes
contender.
you understand why people end up doing their own, like you did with the first hat, because
which I published on Ravelry as my very first design.
Yes. So if you've seen that hat in the store, or we should have it here with us.
That's true.
Next time we'll show you. And I wanted to share this yarn. I was speaking with a customer the other day who's trying to choose. She wants to do a mosaic knitting pattern, which is a pattern that you use more than one color, but you're only ever knitting with one and doing slip stitches.
Like
with
the
other.
shift.
Yep, like the shift cowl that many of us did. So this, and a lot of people we used all different things, and so she wanted to do a sweater, and she lives in a warm climate most of the time and didn't want wool, and came across the Sonata, but she wanted a color changing yarn to go with it for the pop, and we looked at everything, and she couldn't, and I was like, the Sonata Shima, she's like, that's just and I understand why. It's one of those ones, and I've said this before about this yarn, it looks weird, it looks messy almost.
Busy.
It's chaotic.
Yeah.
You said chaotic before.
Yep.
This looks chaotic in the skein, which isn't for everybody. Some people like that, but I it's too chaotic for me. But I could not picture it up. So we rolled it up into a ball, and then I was like, it looks so different now. I really feel like they should have packaged this in a cake so that you could see all the colors. And then I started knitting, and I was just gonna do this giant swatch so people could see, and I got this far and I was like, this is really nice. It feels it's so soft.
It's cotton, silk, viscose, really lovely drape. A lot of folks chose it for their Anchor summer tee.
Yes.
And the Sonata's the solid, and the Shima is the Sonata Shima is the multicolored.
And it's technically sport weight, and the Anchor is DK, so it's flexible. And I'm knitting it. I think these must be 5s or 6s. They look like it, right?
Yep.
I think they're 6s if I remember. It's been a while since I worked on this. So I thought, I'm like, you need to take a different look at this. So I just need to brainstorm and now design my own cowl.
I think that would
in my spare time.
Wonderful.
A mosaic in my spare time. Mosaic cowl using Sonata and Sonata Shima. And maybe I should just pick one that already exists. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I just wanted to share that. This yarn is, it's so interesting to me when a yarn looks so different than you see it in the skein. And it's hard to picture. You can't picture this.
You can't
I
at
couldn't
all.
picture it. So
it does make me also think about just the marketing of yarn and like the part of the design process of how do we put this in a ball, skein, or cake, or dragon egg so that it actually sells well.
Right, because they don't sell well, but knit up, they're a thing of beauty. So we
Can
need
we
to show
talk
people.
about the website?
We can. Sure, just spring that right on.
I don't know, it's just an idea.
I've been working on the website behind the scenes. We're going to have a new website, hopefully today or tomorrow. So you'll see some changes, and I welcome feedback, and I'm sure it's not going to be perfect. I've been doing it in fits and starts. As I said, it's been so busy that I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to do this for a little while. And I worked a bunch on it yesterday, and I have a few little tweaks left, and someone gave me a good piece of advice once, which was, at the time it was about blog post writing, but I think it counts for this too. Like, you write a long blog post, you think it looks great, don't publish till the next day. Like, read it over again with fresh eyes. So I decided that was also good website advice for myself.
Well, and what I think is amazing, because it's a big undertaking, and it's one that you've, known, and it's been sort of like, we've got to get this done and stuff. But part of the challenge, I think, is really like our particular, what we sell here. We've got a ton of stuff a lot of variants. You have a color, and there's 5 million possible colors in Rasta and, Malabrigo. It's a lot. And so that's really different than a lot of retail sources.
It is.
So then choosing the right template that would meet our needs.
It's been tricky.
It's been tricky
to
find the right one.
It is not perfect, but neither is the one we have now.
I think this one the previews that I've seen look really beautiful. I think that you have just done a great job with sourcing one that feels like us. It feels like our website, just a little bit better.
I agree. And
a lot better, actually. Yeah.
And it, like I said, it's a work in progress. And I had also someone else tell me that when I very first had a website that I was working on 3 years ago, and I was like, I just want to finish it, and she said, Kristen, your website's never finished. You always are changing it. You're always working on it. And I was like, wait, what? I can't just set it and forget it? Well, I learned that lesson.
Yep.
So yeah, that's we have a lot going on still right now too. So, and should we at the end of the month we'll make a big announcement, but we will be celebrating my 3rd anniversary of ownership in the store, and we'll be having a big celebration. We'll see what surprises we have to offer you, but it's going to be fun, and I believe we've chosen the 30th of September.
Yep.
But more information about that next time.
Awesome.
So we have to open the store in a few minutes.
We definitely do. So thanks for joining us for this catch-up podcast, and we hope that you enjoy what you're making right now. And in the meantime, happy making, happy knitting, happy crocheting, happy whatever you're doing.
Happy knitting. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe, and even leave a comment. We love your comments.
I know, it really means a lot.
Bye now.
Bye.